monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a rebel's fight without an alibi. It took my hands without an alibi. All alive. The devil's in the detail, lingered inside. Oh, a holy crime. But how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a rebel's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Though we're all like nonsense, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a rebel's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence without an alibi. Smoking gun, you got me on the run. We know that will come. We're out up till dawn. But how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a rebel's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Though we're all like nonsense, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a rebel's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence without an alibi. All alive. The devil's in the detail, lingered inside. Oh, a holy crime.
Welcome, welcome. It is Sunday night, 9 p.m., and you know what that means. We're here to watch the ladies of Echo throw down in the VRGL mixed scrim. With me tonight, I've got Control Flirt Delete from V Respawn, the Colettos, and the Hive. I'm super excited to have her on with me tonight. I think we're going to have a great time talking about all things esports, women in gaming, and VR. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to watch this game with you.
Yeah, for sure. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties now on my end too. Awesome. So we'll get this game going in just a second for you guys. And yeah, tonight we've got Maddie, Baby True, Asuda, who I think is new to the VRGL community, Ice 14, the Party Crew, Glass, Kiwi Berry, and Princess Claire. Super excited to watch them play. All right. Gave the girls the go ahead to ready up, and we should be getting going in just a second. Just a second. Hmm. You think my mic is playing? Oh, I know what's wrong. I think I know what's wrong. Um. Yeah, 1 second. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. Better? Nano, help me. Nano is one of our most loyal viewers, always here to support the women of Echo. Super appreciate it. I hope my mic is only going through one time now. I think I figured it out. Anyway, the girls should be readying up any second now, and we'll get this game underway. I'm not quite sure what the delay is for, but we
Looks
should
like
be
they're just
getting
having
going soon.
fun.
Yeah, they're just having fun. They're just having a good time. They're just throwing the disc around. It's cool. I'm not super worried about it, but Glass usually communicates with me whatever's going on in there. All right, technical difficulties are good. We should be ready to go. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Most of the girls that watch this don't exactly watch 2CQ, so they didn't get the full introduction to who Vivian is. Tell me about what you do in the VR space.
Well, thank you. So I love this about Echo. It's like it's such a big community, and it's very like in its own bubble, and that's okay because you guys have like your own ecosystem of
Yeah.
like kind of everything, and that's kind of great. Well, I'm Vivian, or you can call me Control. I played Onward for some time with VR Master League, but I do a number of other things. I started the Hive in 2017, and that was a talk show that I did in alt space, and it was like the first inside out talk show, meaning we would be inside of VR, but also outside at the same time. It was very well, it was better to say it was very meta before it became like kind of a hype word. But I come from more enterprise level VR, so more so like working in the back end. Professionally, I help older adults use technology, and we address issues of isolation among older adults because we're such a global world nowadays.
Mhm.
So it was natural for me to learn VR, and that's really what the high was about. We interviewed people outside of gaming, so in the military, medical field, recycling, or therapeutic apps, all kinds of different things. But I did go to Oculus Connect a couple times. That's where I saw the LAN events, and a friend introduced me to a player of Onward because that's what we watched together. So he came on the show. His name's Thunder Pilot. He plays for Global Chem, and so I was just making jokes and just saying like, "Oh, is there like a girls' team?" And he's like, "Well, there's one girl that plays. There used to be two." So I'm like, "Well, let's make a girls' team," and he's like, "Yeah, sure." So not one to go back on my word. I was like, okay, well, let's do this. So now keep in mind, I'm not really a gamer. So when a bunch of streamers that I'm friends with heard that I was playing, they're like, we gotta see this. So they invited me on stream to really just for fodder. But jokes on them because I totally got hooked and started playing. It really helped me through a lot of I was going through cancer for some time and chemo, and playing Onward really just kind of like helped me kind of come back because it just changes you. And not being a gamer, it was like an environment where I didn't have to know how to play the game. I didn't know how to know everything. I didn't have to be the esports is like for me. So the Hive joined V Respawn, which is head by Kier Simmons. Used to be a media. We used to do a lot of like news coverage, blogs, shows, but we've since pivoted to more of a like marketing team and consultant team. So we help games who are trying to be esports ready, We help schools that are trying to set up labs and their teams to be into VR, not just pancake esports. I also do. I'm an advisor for esports and media for XR Safety Initiative, which you were a part of,
Yeah,
and
I
we
totally wanted
focus.
to get into that. Yeah.
Yeah, we focus on making um, actually anything that's XR related safe for the users, the people who are in it, like Children's Initiative, anything medical. I mean, there's a lot of ethics involved about your data, who owns it, and then also how to like hold places like leagues like accountable for things because at work you can have like a no retaliation clause, but for these public organizations where there's really no one holding anyone accountable, like you can't really report things without feeling safe, and that's really what we try and work on with cybersecurity.
Yeah, I totally wanted to talk about that actually, the safety issue. Obviously with this being the girls' league, we, women in gaming, I'm sure, as you know, we deal with a lot of issues that our male counterparts don't really have to deal with. So, how did you get involved with the XR Safety Initiative? Was it something something more personal to you, or was it something you stumbled across and wanted to get involved in? Like, what's the story with that?
Well, Kavya Perlman, she's the CEO. She reached out to me. She was looking for someone to run their Cyber XR coalition, which focuses on diversity and inclusion. But as we started talking, I think she realized like my passion really laid more along the lines of the importance of safety in gaming. And it's XR Safety Initiative includes a lot of different branches. There's medical XR, the Cyber XR coalition, the Children's Initiative, which just helped with policymaking in Australia. So there's a lot of different organizations and governments that XRSI consults for and with on cybersecurity issues. So she asked me to be a part of it, and so we're slowly but surely going to kind of build up and ramp up a more focus on the gaming aspect of the overall mission of XRSI. And it's a nonprofit organization too, so we do fundraising throughout the year.
That's super awesome. If you want to throw me some links, I will definitely throw that, or if you want to throw some links in chat for donating to that awesome initiative, I'm sure the viewers would appreciate that. Actually, it's really cool that you bring up the medical stuff. I did a project in college working with, I don't know how much you know about robotics, but my degree, my background, my whole life passion is in robotics. And my first introduction to VR wasn't actually through gaming. It was a project I did in which we were designing a controller for a robot arm to use in medical applications that was based off of tracking, arm tracking, and controller tracking with a HTC Vive. That's it's really cool because I don't think we ever considered the ethical side of that project when we were doing it. It was more the mechanical and the back end of it. But I didn't even, when I first got started in VR and I started with that project and now even with Echo, it's awesome to see that this organization exists because, when I first started, it didn't. And it's such a glaring issue that I think needs to be filled. Um, Thank you so much for throwing that link in there. Hi, Nolan. One of my mod leads for Echo Arena VRML is supporting me in chat because I said I was super nervous to interview Vivian.
Why?
So,
You were on
okay,
my show.
I know I was on your show, but like it's you have such a presence in this whole community, and as you said, Echo is just in its own little bubble, and
Well,
I'm super.
that's a good thing. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, I didn't mean to say
Echo's
that.
like Echo is like a giant yeller. Like I'm like nervous being in your presence.
I hope not. But yeah, no, because like Echo's in its own little bubble, and here you've got such a presence in the entire VR community, and it's awesome. It's not so much nervous, it's more just like awestruck because, women getting stuff done is just something that I'm super passionate about. And it's awesome to see you going out and doing all of these things. Representing women in VR space, in gaming space, in all of these spaces. It's just super cool.
Yeah, well, I was actually really excited to see that Veritas Media has like two channels headed by women. I just think that's really awesome. I know sometimes I'm just always like, I mean, at first it's like you kind of like have to play it cool a little bit, like, yeah, we want more women. But then sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna be a little bit obnoxious about it because like there really are not a lot, except that in VR there are a lot of women because it's newer. And you're kind of like able to start on better footing than say like traditional gaming, which is like a bros club, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
it's you still run into the issue of being going into a lobby and someone like, oh, a gamer girl, which is like such a weird thing for me to hear. Then yeah, it's something that you should still kind of talk about. But there are a lot of women in gaming, and I came from social VR, and that was like 50% women that were in those. So there's a lot of really like badass women in VR. There a ton. I mean, I was at AWE in November, and I think there's like 187 speakers who are women identifying. So
That's
it's
insane.
yeah, it's a big representation, and people who like try and go out and be like, yes, we're the leaders of the metaverse, and they don't have any women at or anyone of color representing them, they totally get called out from the XR community because like let's like we're at the beginning, so let's just do it right and let's not pretend that women aren't around because like hello, we are here. How did you get here? So um it's really important to do it, and it's really important for people who kind of come from traditional gaming to come into a culture that's already like, hey, this is a respectful place for everyone,
Hmm.
and it's not about like what gender you identify with or how like what color skin you have or anything like that. It's already like if you start out like that, then we're already way ahead of the curve of esports. But I mean, you guys, I think what you guys are doing is great. Being on the Two Cool Queens show and stuff like that was awesome. Good experience, and it's surprising. I think when people hear about all the other women who are doing cool stuff, I mean, there's a lot of people out there doing amazing things.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I was like super surprised when I first heard about the Hive and the Coletos team, because I didn't even know that there was an all women team over at Onward until you were on 2CQ. Or just before, I'm sorry, not 2CQ, until we did the safety initiative thing together. I had no idea that that had even existed over there. I thought that was such a male dominated game. I was like, I feel like I couldn't even breathe in that environment. And not only are you breathing, you are thriving, girl. You are setting up communities over there, and I think that's awesome.
Well, yeah. So the Coletos was like we played for I think like 3 seasons, and actually for some time there were a lot of males on the Coletos.
Oh, really?
And,
I thought it was all
yeah, and
women.
like it was, yeah. But just because they're guys doesn't mean they can't play.
Well,
So
yeah, of course.
no, that was always a joke. I
Oh, how
said.
the turntables.
Exactly. But we've actually since stopped focusing just on Coletos. And the fun thing about it was that you can just say, like, sure, like, it's like a gimmick getting an all girls team. But I asked anybody and everyone who had anyone in their life who was female to come and play. And, we had. I bothered Noman, who you might know, who is a caster and on the board member of VRML. I was like, "Hey, you have a girlfriend? I saw her in stream. Can you get her to play?" And he's like, "I can ask her." And then he bought her a headset. And then I asked Thunder Pilot, who I interviewed. I was like, "You have sisters?" And he was like, "Yeah, I can try and get my sister." He helped build her computer. So I literally like she was in VR for 10 minutes. I was like, "Come into to Onward." Showed her around the map. And I just got started in it, and I was like, "So, yeah, what do you think?" And she's like, okay. And now she's a captain of our own team, and they're a really good team. So now there are a lot of women who are playing in VR. So I don't compete anymore just because I work on a lot of things that are a little bit like require me to be a little bit more neutral. um
Hmm.
as you might know from like governors, etc. I would love to. I still play in things like show matches where we're showing off different games to companies, organizations who want to understand VR esports. I mean, that's really who I'm catering to, or people who are like trying to buy into it. And so it's like I'm doing bids and pitches for VR
Hmm.
esports. So the Coletos kind of like spread across games. Like we have Coletos in Hyperdash, Coletos in Pavlov. So and that's not just gaming. We have VR Rosie, who's an artist. We have Lisa plays VR, who does Phasmophobia. A little bit of everything. We have players in Pop One and on different teams. So you could be a Coletto too. I mean, it's just like a fun thing that's like something that we just like to say and represent. It's not like super organized team as it used to be. It's really
Hmm.
just like a presence. Like, hey, we're here and we have an awesome logo, and that's it.
That's awesome. Yeah, your logo is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And oh my god, a Joker train coming in and slam dunking that disc in. Of course, Glass. I knew you weren't gonna let this whole stream go by without a Joker train. But Speaking of Joker and V Respawn teams, you guys have you mentioned before we went live. You guys have a team that plays combat and plays Echo Arena. Do they play
Yeah.
for VRML or was it another league you mentioned?
I think I was actually before Echo joined VRML. So previously it was VRL, with the VR League, which is run by ESL, which is I think defunct now. And they worked in collaboration, I believe, with VRML, but they did the LAN events at Oculus Connect. So V Respawn throws the after party at Oculus Connect. I went separately for the Hive. Like we got invited to go to like Facebook headquarters to meet with a bunch of people. So then we stayed for Oculus, and it wasn't until the following year that I joined with the Respawn. So the Hive was off doing more like social
Gotcha.
VR stuff. But from what I understand, and this was a little bit before my time, was that there was a V Respawn combat team and V Respawn Echo team, and you can catch it on YouTube on VRL. There's championships, and I think in our promo video they're holding up the trophy. And so I'm not exactly sure. I think one of the teams is still going on, but I don't think it's like actively called V Respawn. But our jerseys have definitely been around the block. And Palador, I believe, was introduced by Kier, who goes by Poonanners, who you might know him as. I think we did a cast for Echo for High School Heroes, which is a high school STEM accredited, the only STEM accredited VR league in the world. So they did a Echo tournament, and our studio did that event as well. So Echo's just always kind of been, you know, like its own beast, and half of our people are Echo players. So I remember when Echo first joined the first season of VRML, and I was like, I really want to like cast that game because I usually like watch it, and I'm not like good at playing it or anything, but I like figure if I kind of get into it, then I could like be a part of it, and then we can like get more women casters. This is back when, um, but luckily, it came out with the Quest came out, and it just like blew up, and now there are like so many women you guys have like VR, GL and stuff like that, and so it's pretty amazing to see.
For sure. Yeah. Boozy in chat. First of all, hey Boozy, nice to see you. Uh, Talking about the after party, and yeah, wants to know if Joker was the rebranded Respawn. I don't know if you know anything about that, or if that was other people working on other things.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so. Again, it was a little before my time.
mm-hmm,
So I believe so. And well, like V Respawn has, we're there's like a portion of us that's the business, like the Hive VR is the LLC, and we do business as like V Respawn. But V Respawn, when we first collaborated with them or joined as one, they were like a big collaboration of people who are players who wrote articles, who went to a bunch of different things, and then when the Hive came in, we like turned a lot of it more into like a business operation. But a lot of the people who are in V Response like they're streamers, they're like huge, so it's like, yeah, I want to join and help out. But then there are like people like Thrill or Lonely Viper, who are like huge and gigantic, streamers on their own. So which is fantastic. So it's really been a great like way for people to kind of like help with whatever clout they have, or as a jumping off point for what they want to launch. And so that's been really cool to watch. But yeah, there's been a lot of people involved with V Respawn in many different ways. And if you look up our channel, you'll see some shows back when, I think when Palador hosted some of them, and Stealth Shampoo and Poonanners casted a few games.
very cool. So is it open for like anybody who has something they want to pitch to collaborate with? Is it open for anybody to join that team, or is it more of more inclusive or exclusive than that? Because the way you're describing
Uh,
it, it sounds more like an open collaboration with anybody.
Yeah, it is. We've actually worked with a lot of different organization. Like, uh, we work with Oculus. We've actually collaborated with VRML. You can see some of the different tournaments that we've collaborated with. Like we did the Pistol Whip launch party with
Mm-hmm.
them. We did we had a LAN event planned, but then we had to convert it because it was literally March 2020, and you know what
Oh
happened
no.
then. Yeah. So but we work with a lot of different leagues, and that's the one thing we're like really adamant about, is that we're not a league. and we don't want to be, that's like a lot of responsibility, and so many
Mm-hmm.
other people do it so much better than we do. We really just provide the production know-how, like the social aspect, the parties, the networking and connections with the people that I work with outside of gaming. Because like I said, like as you know, Echo is its own community. You've got thousands and thousands of people playing, living, breathing Echo, right? And then if you expand it a little bit, you see that there's Onward, and then Pavlov, and then Hyperdash has its own league, and Pop One, and you see that it just kind of like grows, and there's a lot more people in their own little bubbles. But outside of VR esports in general is a whole other world, and they are not versed in esports, but they control a lot of they control's the wrong word. Control's my name. they they influence a lot more of what gets to be pushed forward. So I really try and like work on those relationships and collaborations because when you're deep in, you guys be the players. You guys are good at that. Let me do the stuff where I can like kind of make the connections outside. Not to say I'm a terrible player, but you know, I'm not playing right now. As you can see, no one's knocking on my door to play on their team. But yeah, Poonanners is he's very much the heart and soul of Respawn. I mean, he founded it. He's my business partner. He's fantastic. He is actually, if I can't remember the name now, there was a team that they needed to go to the qualifiers one year, and he actually broke down our studio and set it up so that they could play for the qualifiers, I believe. What,
Oh wow.
yeah. I forget what team it is, but he also, like, when Echo was in Poland playing, he like bought pizza and drinks and stuff for everyone because the people who are organizing it, you know their names, were not taking care of the players. So he did. He's just like he's a really good guy. And whenever we talked about like building up the Respawn together or the Hive and everything, like we were just talking about how like we really hate gatekeepers and people who are like, only I
Yes.
only I can dominate this space. So we always said, like,
Yes.
if we ever get on top, that's what we're not going to do. And so yeah, in a sense, we're not exclusive in the sense that we won't, we only work with a few people, um we want everyone to kind of like join in where it makes sense and where it fits in. Keep in mind, we work with people who like seemingly have nothing to do with what we do, but we find a way to like make it work for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we've helped
Yeah.
people, like there's a book that came out, Memory Engine. We're like, can we help you with that? So we made their trailer for them. um it's like an ebook that you can look up. I'm gonna find it right now, maybe find the link for
I
everyone.
was gonna say book trailer. That seems like a little bit out of your normal league.
Yeah. So yeah, Gary walked in. But we do collaboration videos. We just did one with the whole VR community for German Rifter, who's a big supporter. He watched the show that was on this last week. So I don't know what time it is in Germany, but he'll probably watch this tomorrow. So hi. It's, um so that it's a really great way to just include people in any way you can, because some people just want to be involved. They just don't know exactly how, and that's kind of like what we like to do. If you want to be involved, I mean, I can't tell you how many messages I get from Poon Anders is like, hey, this person's interested in this, can you help them? And I'm like, oh, okay. And so then I'm like, I'm trying to figure out like where we can put them, or get them something. I wish we could like hire everyone, but that's how it is with VR. It's kind of like it's still
Yeah.
new, but it'll get there eventually, and that's what we're really working on. We're trying to like make sure that we're in good footing, that things look good, because there are a lot of schools that are already in the esports scene. They've already like have like, admitted it. They're like, okay, yeah, esports is a thing. You can major in it. You can go on scholarship for it. So like, let's bring it to VR esports. So we helped open the lab in Houston, their college. They have a VR lab. Um,
Ooh.
Hopefully bringing it to like Alabama. As you know, CVRE is really big. Their collegiate
Mm-hmm.
VR league. They do a lot of Echo and Beat Saber competitions. And a lot of corporations who are like looking for like charity events, and they're interested in this as like a new technology, and it's a lot easier to show, believe it or not, easier to show people to play, I don't know, like ping pong in VR or golf in VR than it is to have them sit down at a PC and show them, I don't know, play Overwatch. I totally know that it was not a fair comparison, golf to Overwatch, but I'm trying to make a point here, people. So, yep, exactly.
I think that's fair. You know, that's oh my god, that's so cool. That was a whole lot. I'm still absorbing all of that. I'm still stuck on the book thing. How do you like? I'm just. I guess. Never mind. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, I want to bring it back to a point that you made earlier. You're talking about how Nanners DMs you all the time, and he's like, "Oh, this person's interested in this and interested in that." Do you ever think that there's like these weird waves where you're like, "Yeah, we need more people in VR. We need more attention. We need like we need this, and this," and then suddenly you find yourself overwhelmed. You're like, "Wait, okay, there's too many people with too many hands and too many cooks in the kitchen working on too many different things." Do you ever feel like it's like a weird balance between that, or do you always in that like we need more group?
Um, yes, absolutely. There are a lot of hands in the cookie jar, as they like to say. Um, so uh, I don't think I'm allowed to send links, but okay, I'll put the title. Yes, I do. And I'll give you a kind of an example. So we just started working with this with outcasters. They're a group of people who want to do shoutcasting, and a lot of people want to do shoutcasting, and it's something that I really enjoy doing. But then as the league started getting bigger, everyone was kind of like, I want to get in on it. I want to get in on it. I saw Tipic in here, and I believe he is a part of VRML. So you
Yes.
probably have an understanding of how many people show an interest in wanting to be a caster, wanting to do much, but whether they deliver on it is another story.
Oh yeah.
So, so you definitely have to you have to balance people's enthusiasm with what they can really do. So in the beginning, I was like, yeah, absolutely, if you want to help out, because like I wanted to help out and I did. So I just assumed everyone else would too. But there's a lot of other things that are going on. Sometimes people are really passionate, but like before I even played VR, I was already a professional speaker. You know, I did events all over the country, working, talking at like conferences and doing classes and teaching. So something that I was already doing, whereas people are kind of like wanting to get into it because they're passionate about gaming. So a lot of that is kind of like talking with people and trying to get an understanding of where they are, like what their capabilities are. There are a lot of people who've messaged and wanted to help out with, you know, production or producing the shows or hosting it, and then you kind of give them a few chances to, and then give them that opportunity. And if they don't follow through, then they don't. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's not like the end of the world. You just kind of like wish them luck and then you move on, and hopefully they do too. But I mean, I'm happy to say that there have been many people who've like wanted to do things and now they've moved on to do other great, incredible things. Like the first producer for the Hive Talk show, she's now a full-time streamer on Twitch. You know, so there are people who do want to do all of that, but we also have like this. It's an unfortunate thing, but like I say, like there's just some people who sit around waiting for the train to arrive. You know, they're not really putting in the effort. They're not
I like that.
contributing. They're not contributing in any meaningful ways, but they want to be there when it becomes something big. So you also have to like kind of be careful for that. I mean, it's fine. Maybe they will do something when the train arrives, but like I told like this new group, I said like, don't worry about getting everyone who wants to do it involved because that's more hands. It ends up being more people to manage who are not doing the same amount of stuff. So keep it like with the people who are outputting like content and work with that. And you might be overworked, but then you're not managing a bunch of people who aren't working. If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. So then, for the people that, want to get involved and then but aren't totally sure what they want to do you have any advice for people like that? Because I constantly find myself, I'm like, I want to do more. I don't know what I want to do, but I want to do more, So,
Girl,
like,
I hear you. I hear you. Would you believe it if I told you I didn't know what I wanted to do? Why do you think I do so much? No, I totally get it. And it's a lot of like a little bit of God, this sounds so cheesy, but here we are. It's like kind of soul searching. You know, you kind of
yeah.
figure what you really really love, and I really had to think about it because I stopped doing VR for about a year because for various reasons, and I really missed casting games. You know, and I really was like I really miss it because it was like Onward is like just very um it's just really cool to me, because it's so strategic, like very, very
Mm-hmm.
strategic and tactical. Like whereas I know that Echo has a lot of strategy as well, and all of it has to do with like teamwork and stuff. But it's also like I believe in Echo, there's some skills you gotta have,
Oh
like
yeah.
there's different types of skills that are like dexterity and stamina skills. With Onward, it's a little bit like you have to outsmart this person because it's really slow rounds. So you have a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of time to think. Whereas like games like Pavlov, it's like really quick. So you don't have like, a minute to try and like rotate around and make something happen. So I really enjoyed that part of casting. And then I had to decide if playing the game was what I really wanted to, or casting the game was what I really wanted to do. And that's kind of like sometimes you can do something like you're good at it, you could do it, but ultimately is that what you want to do? And that's kind of what I had to do when I gave up my talk show to Nava Berg, she became the host of the Hive, because
Mm-hmm.
I my heart wasn't in the hosting. I really wanted to play, so I gave up the season to play while she hosted. And it kind of goes back and forth because sometimes you're really good at something, but maybe that's not what you want to do. I mean, I'm sure as all of you who are in positions of like governors, that you have to decide if I want to help run this league or I want to play the game. And then branch outside of it, like maybe there's other things like you want to stream, or whatever it is. I would just say don't do something just because, well, I'm already doing it. I'm known for it. I have a built-in audience, because that's great, but then you won't like be happy. You know what I mean? Like you're just kind of like performing and putting on this little shtick for people. So
Mm-hmm.
do a little bit of everything until you kind of figure out like, I can do this, and if there's no opportunities, like make it. Someone's got to make that opportunity. Like this is it, guys. Like it is arriving. Like metaverse. Facebook came out with Meta, and suddenly everyone's like Meta, oh metaverse, blah blah. Blah. Like, oh, whatever. You didn't even know how to use Google.
We were
You
here
know?
first.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like this big joke right now on Twitter, and I know I've been putting out a lot of like trolly posts about it, like with Mad Libs with the word meta for everything,
Oh, I've seen
because
it and it makes my
yeah,
day.
because it's so true. And then like in our little group, we were like, why is everyone suddenly like an expert? Like the quest like just came out, someone's like playing on the quest for like 2 minutes, and they're like, holy crap, I'm in the metaverse, I own it, I'm gonna create it now, come to me, talk to me, I will show you how the buttons work. And I'm not discounting people's like passion, but let's be real here. Like I worked with people who have been working on VR since the 70s, for crying out loud, the 70s. And I actually work with a vendor, and he's been doing it since for almost 30 years. And he sold off his technology and then just ended up working for the company that purchased it. And so then we work with this company, and whenever we have lunch and I'm telling him about like, oh yeah, and VR esports is doing this and this, and he's like, I had no idea any of this is going on, because it's so big. Like, so people have been doing it for so long. The military's been using it for a long
Mm-hmm.
time, but now people are finding ways to commercialize it, which, I think for people who are like, you've been in it for a while, and it's kind of like it's a little bit disheartening because it feels like people aren't listening to you, when you're like, this is so cool, and then you have people who are like, if you're like, I'm hanging out with friends, like they're like your real friends or your VR friends. Ha
Oh
ha.
my god. I told my
Yeah.
mom today, I was like, yeah, I'm like streaming with this woman. She's like, do you know her in real life? I was like, does it matter?
Yes, yes, you do. Well, maybe you know people who know me. I've met a lot of people in real life, and we're all real. I know because people poked me, and it hurt.
Wait, what?
No, I'm kidding.
Is that a running joke? You get people meet you in real life and they poke you just to make sure it's real?
You know what's funny is that like it's hilarious because you can kind of just tell. I don't know how it is in Echo because I'm not around a lot of people that I know regularly, but in Onward and in Alt Space and VR chat, like you kind of know people like how they stand, and how their hands kind of move, and their head tilt, or how
Oh
they take
yeah.
their headset and it's just like sitting there. It you just like kind of know people's mannerisms. So when I met people in real life, I'm like, oh my god, you're just like how you are in the game. Like forget getting your load out. I'm kidding, but like people are a lot of the same. I will say, however, it is hysterical how shy people are in real life. Because people talk such big games, like like such punks behind the keyboard sometimes, and then you meet them in real life, like, hey, how's it going? Like, oh my god,
Oh my god, hi.
it's like, talk to me, come on, I know you have more to say than that. Let's look back on these DMs, shall we?
Right? People behind screens are just so wildly different. Like Echo has so many lands coming up in the next 3 months. I'm super excited. The first is only in what 2 weeks from now is Redshift land, guys. So let's start getting hype. Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's like 5 miles from my house. There's like no reason for me not to go. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's really cool.
Yeah, but I'm super excited to see all these players that I've been playing with for a long time, and they talk a big game, and they're big in their these massive personalities. But I can't wait to see does that match up with real life. But
Yeah.
anyway,
For some,
that
it
is
does. Like Pooh Nanners is exactly like he is on screen on stream. Like he's that's him.
Yeah.
he doesn't have to be anything different. So
yeah. Perfect timing. That is the end of the last round of our set tonight. We did 0 casting, which is odd, but you know what? It works because we had a guest from outside of Echo, and I think it went splendidly. So let's take a look at those stats real quick before we do our plugging and signing off. Asuda, holy crap, her first game was tonight with VRGL, and she put up 15 points more than anybody else in the lobby. I want to shout out Ice for 6 saves, Baby True across the board 6, 5, and 4, and Maddie 2 and 2. Over on the blue team, Glass has 14 points, Kiwi Berry 411, Princess Claire 624, and Party Crew 413. Everybody had solid stats tonight. Let's go, ladies. But yeah, so that is the end of our game tonight. I'll go ahead and I'll plug my stuff first. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Earlier tonight we had Wireless Cast. At 9 o'clock we have the VRGL stuff. Tomorrow 2CQ has Smooth Ryden and Matt Miko on. If you are in Tyro or Beer League and you know those two, you know that is going to be a great show. Those are two massive personalities on with our queens. On Tuesday we have Level Up with Lentil. On Wednesday we have Frontline Gaming with 5 Spot. On Friday, we have competitive beer league this week, so the podcast will be following one team as they duke it out with the other ones, and it's the competitive week, so not the casual beer league we usually know and love. And then, yeah, if you enjoyed this, we'd do this every week. I don't remember who's on next week, but I'd love to still have you come hang out with me. Anything you want to plug?
Sure. We do our shows on Thursday nights at 9:30 Eastern time. And we've actually changed the theme. So Cami from Pavlov, who's also a Coletto, will be actually talking about ethics in VR esports. Things about like, is that cheating or not cheating, and stuff like that about all of the different games. So that will be on Thursday nights. And we Respawn on the Hive. Myself, we will be at CES. I know that it's been really, really pared down, but we'll be at CES, and there is a content creator party. If you are there, hit us up, and I'll get you an invite in. And just reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm really active on Twitter at VRChazen, and I'm happy to answer any questions, or if you guys want to go toe to toe, or fight me in Onward or Hyperdash or something, let me know. I'm available.
Looks like we have Ice trying to find the camera on the stream to give us a little dance on Pac-Man. Thank you.
Well, yeah,
I see you, Ice. So the girls usually do that after the games. They try and find the camera and they do some sort of weird dance. But we love you guys. We appreciate all the ladies that play in our VRGL scrims. And super look forward to seeing you guys play next week. That's all from me. I think that's all from you. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Thank you.
All alive. The devil's in the detail, lingered inside. Oh, a holy crime. But how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a lover's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. But we're all like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. You up till dawn. But how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a runner's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Going around like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a runner's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence without an alibi. All aligned. The devil's in the detail, lingered inside. Oh, a holy crime. But how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a runner's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Going around like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no